أحب الله والإسلام والقرآن والجنة، أحب جحافل الإيمان ترفع راية السنة. أحب الله والإسلام والقرآن والجنة، أحب جحافل الإيمان ترفع راية السنة. جدودي للدنا ساروا وللعلياء قد طاروا، جحافلهم كتائبهم على الطغيان قد ثاروا. جدودي للدنا ساروا وللعلياء قد طاروا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره، ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له، ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that this gathering be among those that Allah descends His tranquility upon, and that His mercy overwhelms us, and that He mentions us to those around Him, the angels, and that the whales in the oceans, the ants in their holes, and the angels make istighfar for us. Calling people onto it. Calling people onto it. And that brings us to our first point today. Calling people onto what? What does the dhamir go back to? What does the dhamir refer to? What does the pronoun, what does it refer to? It. Calling people onto it. Calling people onto it usually refers to the last matter. What the last matter is? Da'wah, applying it. Calling people to applying it. We already explained though that applying knowledge doesn't come without you knowing knowledge. So in reality, calling people onto it means calling people onto knowledge and its application, because they come side by side. They're inseparable. That's the first point. Next point is an important issue many discuss. Is da'wah fard ayn or fard kifaya? Is it communal obligation or personal obligation? And the answer to that is a twofold answer. Da'wah is ordaining the good and forbidding the evil. That's da'wah. Ordaining the good and forbidding evil is da'wah. There needs to be, the first fold of the answer is, there needs to be a group of people devoted to ordaining the good and forbidding the evil. They got to be devoted for that task. That part here is fard kifaya, communal obligation. If a group does it, it's sufficient for the ummah. Every individual of the ummah doesn't have to be a khatib. We don't need 1.6 billion khatibs. Or master the elucidation of all the hadith of Bukhari. Or break down the narrations of the chain of narrations of the hadith. A group of this ummah have to go get the classical, detailed, in-depth knowledge in hadith, in mustalah, in seerah, in tafsir, in fara'id, in inheritance, the laws of inheritance. That in itself, all that is fard kifaya. Allah in the Quran says, وَمَا كَانَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ لِيَنْفِرُوا كَافَّةً. It's not proper for all the believers to go out in jihad. وَمَا كَانَ الْمُؤْمِنُونَ لِيَنْفِرُوا كَافَّةً فَلَوْلَا نَفَرَ مِنْ كُلِّ فِرْقَةٍ مِنْهُمْ طَائِفَةٌ. A party should stay behind and get the instructions, get the lessons on Islamic knowledge, so that they can warn their people when they return to them. A group of this ummah has to be in the forefront of da'wah. They have to take on the challenges. When people bring misconceptions, they got to respond to them. When government spread kufr, someone's got to stand up to it. Someone needs to respond to all that. Someone needs to respond to the rawafid, to the khawarij, to the murjia. Someone needs to lead Jum'ah. Someone needs to lead salah. Someone has to have the detailed knowledge of jarh and ta'dil. Someone has to have the detailed knowledge of inheritance. But that's not something everyone is able to do. It's not something everyone is able to do. And in fact, it's impossible to burden the whole ummah with such detailed knowledge. Ibn Kathir rahimahullah said, there needs to be a group of this ummah in the forefront to confront the wrong, stop the evil, and represent and convey the truth. Then he said, which leads us to the answer, the second answer, the B answer. At the same time, it is also wajib on every individual to the extent he can do. It's wajib on every individual to the extent he can do. That's the second answer. Every Muslim has a personal obligation, a fard ayn obligation, individual responsibility to perform da'wah. Each according to the best of his abilities or her abilities and according to their surroundings. And that varies, that slightly varies based on every individual, based on their knowledge. You have to do da'wah in what you know, in your surroundings, around you. You don't have to be a khatib, but you do know salah is fard. You see someone who's not doing their salah, you say salah is obligatory on us. You have to perform your salah. You know backbiting is haram. You're in a setting where there's backbiting. You say stop, this is haram. The Prophet ﷺ in Sahih Bukhari, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً, convey from me even if one ayah. If you know one ayah, go ahead and convey it. You know that truly, you truly know the meaning of that ayah, convey it. In the Quran, وَلْتَكُمْ مِنْكُمْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ وَيَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. Let there arise a group out of you, inviting people to that which is good, to Islam, enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. يَأْمُرُونَ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَيَنْهَوْنَ عَنِ الْمُنْكَرِ وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. A group of you. Min, minkum, min, in Arabic, means tab'id, meaning, which would mean a group of you. Let there be a group of you. Min, tab'id, meaning some of you. Which, if you take it to that, if you take min lit tab'id, would mean the fard kifaya, the communal obligation. Meaning, let there a group of you master the knowledges. But min in Arabic could mean al-jins, which means, the verse would mean, let there be of mankind, meaning all of you. Min lil jins, meaning mankind, which would make the verse meaning the fard ayn type of da'wah, the individual obligation type of da'wah, because min could be also lil jins, meaning of mankind. Abu Huraira in Sahih Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, whoever sees the hadith, all of you know, whoever sees, it's in Sahih Muslim, whoever sees evil, let him change it by his hand, if not by his tongue, if not by his heart. Every Muslim is directed to change based on, and of course every single one of these, the tongue, the hand, and the heart, has its own rules and regulations. Matters one is trusted with, like his own children, he's obligated to do da'wah with them. يا أيها الذين آمنوا قوا أنفسكم وأهليكم نارا. O you who believe, guard yourselves and your family. How could you guard them without giving them da'wah? A person must do da'wah to his family because he's entrusted with them, and he will be asked about it. A woman is to do da'wah with her family as well, in her surroundings, in her relatives, in her friends, in her peers, because she may be asked about it. She may be asked about certain situation where she's in if she doesn't do the da'wah. If one is in a gathering where there's wine being served, he must or she must tell him this is prohibited, and the least of it, forbidding the evil, is walking away. Walking away from that is in itself forbidding the evil. And it's better if you tell them. So the point is, the detailed form of da'wah, where you know the detailed Islamic knowledge and you convey that, and you talk about the Khawarij, the Murji'ah, the Rawafid, the Jarh and Ta'deel, that's fard kifaya. But there's an obligation on everyone within his surroundings to the best of his abilities and means. That one's not fard kifaya, that's a fard ayn.